Surviving is the same thing as winning. Please dial 123. Chapter 6. Anbu and Sannin for hire. This is Yugo, Kakashi introduced. Sasuke scrutinized her silently, and she returned the favor. The quiet Kunoichi would be a good teacher for his quietest student. They both had a rather quiet, watchful personality and seemed aloof to many others in their silent observations. She will be coming as often as she can spare to give you guys some Jinjutsu lessons, Kakashi chirped. Yugao was stuck in Ghana off for the time being for the chunin exams, and Kakashi had traded in a bunch of favors to get her to agree to this, including asking the Hokage to count it as teaching hours for her, which was good for a variety of things in your file. Naruto, why don't we give Sakura and Sasuke some time with Yugao? Kakashi said, steering Naruto away. Good luck! Naruto waved enthusiastically at the two. Sakura gave him a thumbs up, while Sasuke canted his head just the slightest, eyes still focused on the stranger. Kakashi was proud to note Sasuke also had Sakura in his line of vision, watching carefully over her. His cute little students had all become a tad more protective since the Forest of Death, and Kakashi was not discouraging them from that. Who are we going to fight? Naruto asked as they slipped out of a clearing. There's a man in town that's quite good at sealing, Kakashi smiled. I thought you and I could go brush up on some lessons. Naruto brightened and absently reached out, taking Kakashi's hand in his own. Kakashi allowed it, letting the boys swing their arms as they leisurely ambled for the hot springs. Kakashi wandered up to the public bathhouse and then veered, tugging Naruto around the corner where they stepped lightly through the bush. Kakashi let go of Naruto's hands and made a shushing sound as they crept up around the back of the onsen, smothering his chakra. He felt Naruto copying him. That skill had taken weeks to beat into Naruto, but now he could snuff his chakra down to a flicker like a bird or a rabbit. Naruto stared wide-eyed at the man crouched, peeking. Kakashi stepped lightly up behind Jiraiya and then reached out, clamping a hand on his shoulder. Jiraiya shrieked like a banshee at the surprise, and Naruto started roaring with laughter, even as the women in the onsen realized they had a peeping Tom. Jiraiya-sama, what an unusual place to find you. Kakashi smiled at the man who spun to face him. Kakashi! Jiraiya grinned. It's been a while. Kakashi, you have 2 seconds to explain. All 3 of the males swiveled to look at Kurenai, glaring murder at them over the fence. Nah, ma, just dealing with a peeping Tom. Kakashi smiled at the fellow Jonin instructor. Would you like the first couple of hits? Jiraiya tried to yelp out his innocence, but Kurenai had no patience for it and whipped a pail at his head hard and fast. The legendary Sannin went down with a large mark now marring his forehead. Thanks, Kakashi chipped. Get him out of here, Kurenai sneered. Yes, ma'am, Kakashi mock saluted. By the way, Yugo is giving my students a few pointers on Jinjutsu for a couple afternoons if you feel like possibly lending a hand. I'll come discuss it when I'm not in the baths. The woman scowled at him. Fair, Kakashi said, grabbing Jiraiya by the back of his shirt. Come on, Naruto. Naruto was still giggling as Kakashi dragged Jiraiya out of the area and into a training ground that contained a small river. Kakashi dropped Jiraiya and glanced around as Naruto stared at the water. Why don't you go for a dip? Kakashi suggested. Naruto grinned and shucked most of his clothes in 2 seconds flat, running to dive into the river. Unlike his teammates, he had no more injuries or bandages to worry about getting wet either. Kakashi indulged it because it was a rather warm day, and they had done some training earlier with Jinjutsu. A few streaks of soot still marred Naruto's hair, and he was happy enough to take a swim. He also picked up on Kakashi's subtle hint to get out of hearing range. As soon as the boy was under the water, Jiraiya sat up, rubbing at the mark on his forehead. How do you always get away with being in the same place as me when I get caught? Jiraiya grumbled. Because I've never made a habit of peeping, Kakashi smirked. My only vice is reading badly written porn. Hey! Jiraiya yelped. That's the finest porn in the elemental countries. Kakashi gave a mock shrug, and Jiraiya grumbled. He did so love getting under people's skins. So, Naruto, Kakashi said. Jiraiya straightened, eyes flickering over to the blonde that was splashing off to the side. You want me to teach him, I take it? Jiraiya grumbled. I suppose I could take it for the month and teach him summoning. No! Kakashi cut him off quick and harsh. Jiraiya blinked, caught off guard by the rather stone-like tone Kakashi had taken. Kakashi was not going to give an inch in this, though. It was not a negotiation, and he would not allow it to become one. We are here to request some sealing lessons, nothing more, Kakashi said. No summoning! Jiraiya eyed him for a long moment, but Kakashi held his gaze, face set. I'm going to have him sign the Toad summons one day, Jiraiya pointed out. Why not now? We are working on different skills right now. Besides, he doesn't have the chakra control to be summoning any large, helpful toads. He would have enough chakra despite the lack of control if he tapped the Kyuubi chakra. No! Kakashi growled. He's going to have to learn at some point. No! Kakashi repeated. I don't think you understand what's happening here. Naruto is my student. Mine. And thus I decide what he learns. Jiraiya stared at Kakashi as if he had never seen him before. I had already planned to take him as my apprentice, Jiraiya said. You know this. And long ago, Kakashi had agreed with the idea. Before he had become Naruto's sensei, he had hoped Jiraiya would take Naruto out of Konoha, would teach him same as his father. But Kakashi had the kid for less than a year and knew he was attached. Naruto would be leaving Team 7 over his dead body. Plans have changed, Kakashi said. He's my student now. Be reasonable, Kakashi, Jiraiya argued. You will need to learn how to harness the Kyuubi eventually. No, Kakashi glared. His father did fine without it in Biju chakra. Kushina never touched its chakra. Naruto will be better than both of them, and he won't need to touch a drop of the corrupted thing's chakra. And what does Sarutobi think of that? Jiraiya raised a brow, a challenge in his words. The Hokage has named Naruto my student, Kakashi snapped. He trusted me to decide how best to train him. Jiraiya and Kakashi had a bit of a stare-off, and Kakashi could see the plans forming in Jiraiya's head. Jiraiya would be paying a visit to the Sandame, but Kakashi knew he would not get the answer he desired. If Jiraiya had been truly interested in Naruto, he would have been there for the boy. He would have swept him away as soon as he graduated, not waited for a jonin to train him for a year. He was only interested in Naruto for his legacy, and Kakashi wasn't going to let the man fashion a new Namikaze Minato out of him. Naruto deserved more than that. He also deserved more than to have all his skills and struggles pushed aside to simply be the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. Silly, eh? Jiraiya finally sighed. Yeah, I'll give you a few lessons at least. It was not surrender, but an argument pushed aside. Kakashi backed down, knowing this wouldn't be the end of it. Naruto! Kakashi called. Come join us! Naruto flapped out of the water and then flapped down beside Kakashi, still in just his shorts and dripping wet. Gonna show us some cool seals, Mr. Pervert! Naruto grinned. I'm not a pervert! Jiraiya splutters. I'm a super pervert! Kakashi rolled his eyes for Naruto's benefit as the boy giggled. Jiraiya grumbled at the laughter, but sat back down and, true to his word, gave them a lesson on seals, eyes brightening as he realized Naruto truly had a knack for them. Soon they were deep in theory, Jiraiya having summoned a toad to bring him his scrolls. Kakashi tried to keep up but fell behind halfway through the first lecture, instead turning to focus on his own thing as Naruto babbled. Kakashi also made a mental note to talk to Naruto about what Jiraiya wanted from him. Jiraiya would find no support in the Sandame at this crucial time, and would most likely turn to trying to cajole Naruto into lessons. Kakashi wanted Naruto to be fully informed before he made decisions. I don't want to learn it, Sasuke said. Kakashi watched as the Sharingan faded away. Why not? He asked calmly. Sasuke looked away for a long moment. Kakashi wondered if when the kid looked in a mirror and saw the Sharingan, he saw his brother looming over him as he murdered their parents. He wondered if Sasuke saw Itachi in himself and it scared him. Probably. Sasuke, for all he was stoic up front, was a sensitive boy. That came hand in hand when you witnessed trauma, unless you became unhinged, that was. There would always be triggers, would always be this fear and this hate clinging to his nerves. He was too emotional to ever be truly stoic under the surface. The question was always if that would change to empathy or anger, if he would be sympathetic to others or start to see less value in them because of his own hurt. Kakashi was here to guide him toward empathy. He is too good with it. I wouldn't be able to catch up, Sasuke finally said. It will just be a handicap. I want to be good without it. You have it, but you are still a genius without it. Kakashi felt a swell of pride, even if it was only half an excuse to avoid saying he was scared of his own eyes, and reached out to ruffle his hair. I'm proud of you, Kakashi said honestly. Sasuke peeked up as if to gauge his truthfulness and then ducked his head. Kakashi caught the faint hint of pink on the boy's ears and smiled again. His student, the worst at showing outwards emotion unless backed into a corner, was doing well. How about we focus on some more ninjutsu? I know for a fact that your brother is a fire affinity and relies mainly on fire ninjutsu and genjutsu. Let's polish up your lightning. Sasuke gave a nod and peeked up at him. And when you are ready, we'll work on the Sharingan because it is still a tool to be proficient in, like your bow and like your Satsuma. He agreed carefully, and Kakashi smiled, even if the expression was a tad sad. He would have to learn, or it would be a double-edged sword. Kakashi knew that well enough.